Tonight, from across Australia and around the world, it's time to look back and unpack the week from the cheap seats. With special guests, journalist and Gold Logie nominee Lisa Miller and comedian Dave Thornton. And now, here are your hosts, Melanie Bracewell and Tim McDonald.
Thank you for joining us in the cheap seats.
I'll do that later. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. We have literally just touched down.
Yes, we've been at the Jeff Bezos wedding in Venice.
What a wedding. There we are there.
If you can see us in the background. Yeah. What a weekend.
A star-studded affair.
Oprah, Usher, Sydney Sweeney,
Erin Patterson,
Orlando Bloom.
I don't know if that list
Might need
is
a fact
quite
checker.
correct. No, let's take a look at some of the photos. There is the happy couple. The amazing thing with Botox is it can make it look like you're excited about marrying Jeff Bezos. That's nice.
Next up, there's Leonardo DiCaprio. Had to cover his eyes to avoid looking at a woman his own age.
That is beautiful.
Wonderful wedding. Wonderful wedding. Beautiful wedding.
Some amazing outfits. What did the bride wear?
The bride wearing a high-necked corseted Dolce & Gabbana gown with hand-appliqued Italian lace.
What about the groom?
Bezos, clutching an Amazon box, was dropped into Venice's Grand Canal.
That Bucks night, that was
Amazing.
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 Yes. Well, not everyone was in favour of
really?
the marriage.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand
They
that?
might have rushed into it.
They have rushed into it. Moving on. And this week, world leaders gathered
They did.
in the Netherlands for the NATO summit. Some gathered for their photos. It's Emmanuel Macron, Giorgia Meloni, and Tom Gleisner.
What is he doing?
Well, the NATO summit wrapped up with member nations agreeing to increase defence spending up to 5% of GDP.
Yes, it was a big win for Donald Trump as he flew back to the States.
Through Jessica Millwood's ears.
It's been a whirlwind trip, but ultimately the president is leaving the Netherlands a satisfied man.
That is remarkable.
I feel like that would be satisfying as well, better than a Q-tip.
Just on the NATO summit, it began with a gathering at the Dutch Royal Palace, where the King and Queen, they rolled out the red carpet. They just forgot to attach it.
Oh my gosh. The same thing happened to Donald Trump's toupee.
Oh, did it really? Wow.
Let's head back home. Where was Albo during the NATO summit?
Anthony Albanese was in Launceston this morning.
Okay.
Yes, well, when you can't get a meeting with Donald Trump, the next best bet is kindergarten kids.
Yes, less NATO, more Play-Doh. But
Yes.
we did hear from one prominent
good.
federal MP this week, Barnaby Joyce.
Designing things such as a implant which goes under your skull but above your brain actually determines your thoughts. Can actually read what your thoughts are. Others have a catheter just goes up your carotid artery and can determine what your thoughts are. Another one is your sinal sagittal, basically up your nose, and it can determine your thoughts. Now, what that means is, if Shervo has an impure thought about Channel 7, so, shock to the genitalia, this...
What is going on?
What is he talking about?
Barnaby Joyce's mind.
That chip is somewhere between his brain, his skull and his beanie. It's in the wrong spot. So much news happening here at home and around the world and in North Korea, Mel. So for the first time this year, it's time for... to a segment of supreme wisdom and power. This is Kim Jong-un.
Gosh, this is...
Could have been longer, where I bring you the latest news from North Korea.
Yeah, really long bow to draw. Tim becoming a dictator. Whoa.
Settle down. I will have you executed for that. It's been a big week in North Korea.
North Korea is opening a beach resort in the hope of boosting tourism in the secretive communist country.
This is exciting. Sun, sand and sanctions. This is the North Korean beach resort.
Oh, wow, they're filming their version of Home and Away there, just called Home.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to leave.
Well, it does. Why would you want to leave? It looks exciting.
Kim Jong-un accompanied his wife and daughter to a display of the park where visitors tested out bright yellow water slides.
Visitors, they're opposition leaders, but... The This is so much fun. This is one of the theme parks at the new beach resort. There's also Propaganda Movie World.
Wow.
That's a lot of fun. And you can stay at famous luxury hotels, including the Intercontinental ballistic missile.
Wow.
Which is great. Not the only news from the north.
We've got hold of this phone that was smuggled out of North Korea last year, and it shows some of the surprising lengths the regime is now going to censor information. These phones don't have access to the internet.
It's what's called Optus. And it works in interesting ways. The phone does something amazing.
Now look what happens if I type in the word for South Korea, which is Namhan. It automatically changes it to Puppet State.
That's amazing.
Wow.
We have something similar. We've got Channel 10 phones, and I don't know, have you ever noticed this?
Yeah.
When you type in the cheap seats, it automatically corrects to special new time slot.
Wow. That is brilliant.
And when I type Dr. Chris Brown, it becomes traitor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when I type Jonathan LaPaglia, oh, no longer required. There we go there. Interesting. Interesting.
That is beautiful.
Not the only big news from North Korea. This headline caught my eye. North Korean driver's licences. It says getting a licence is as easy as knowing the right person or paying the right bribe.
Oh, my God. Tim, you're in.
I'm in. I've got to get over there.
Yeah.
In fairness, it is tricky to get your North Korean driver's licence. The signs are a little bit different. They're familiar, but they are a little bit different. This one looks familiar as well. You think it's for roadworks, but it actually means burying 60 uncles.
Wow.
Slow down. I actually went online and downloaded the North Korean learner's permit test. Here's one of the questions. Who has right of way, vehicle A or vehicle B?
Is this a trick question, Tim?
It is a trick question. The answer's obvious. It's vehicle K, Kim Jong-un. Oh, very funny. Thank you so much. We've got a great show for you. Gold Logie nominee Lisa Miller, comedian Dave Thornton and Mel Tracina in the cheap seat.
That is my kind of comedy once I get it. Not in Australia? Desperate to catch up on the newest episodes of Have You Been Paying Attention? We're releasing brand new episodes for our overseas friends of the show.
So you guys are a couple, is that what it is?
On the official Have You Been Paying Attention YouTube channel. Subscribe today.